Welcome, bienvenidos, benvindu, to the Soccermetrics Copa Libertadores show, a production of Soccermetrics and Soccer Down Here, the only English language podcast devoted to South America's premier club competition. I'm your host, Howard Hamilton, the founder of Soccermetrics. Matchday 5 of the 2024 Libertadores group stage is complete, and in this episode, I'm going to recap this week's matches. First, a summary of the match results. And we start in Group A. Fluminense 2, Cerro Porteño 1. Alianza Lima 1, Colo-Colo 1. Group B. Sao Paulo 0, Barcelona 0. Talleres de Córdoba 1, Cobresal 0. Group C. The match between Gremio and Estudiantes de La Plata has been postponed. The strongest 4, Huachipato 0. Group D. Liga de Quito 0, Junior 1. Universitario 0, Botafogo 1. Group E. Flamengo 4, Bolivar 1. Millonarios 1, Palestino 1. Group F. Palmeiras 2, Independiente del Valle 1. San Lorenzo 3, Liverpool de Montevideo 2. Group G. Peñarol 2, Atlético Mineiro 0. Rosario Central 4, Caracas 1. And finally, Group H. River Plate 2, Libertad 0. And Deportivo Táchira 0, Nacional 1. So over the 15 matches that were played, there were 36 goals, resulting in 9 home wins, 3 draws, and 3 away wins. That's the end of part 1. In part 2, the highlights of the 5th match day of the group stage. Part 2 of the Soccermetrics Copa Libertadores show, a production of Soccermetrics and Soccer Down Here. You know the scores. Now, let's run through the Matchday 5 highlights of each group. Group A saw Alianza Lima draw with Colo-Colo 1-1, and yet another draw in Group A. Out of the 10 matches in this group, 6 have ended in draws, 4 of those draws by Alianza Lima. Alianza had less possession in this match, yet they created more pressure on the opposing goal. 3 players generate more than 0.3 xG. Hernan Barcos, who scored the goal, Kevin Serna, and Sebastian Rodriguez. Colo-Colo were led primarily by Arturo Vidal. The old stalwart, back from Europe, scored a goal for the Chilean side, but he was sent off in stoppage time. Damian Pizarro was sent off for the Chileans midway through the second half. So Colo-Colo will have to play without their spark plug, their leader, in their decisive Group A match in 2 weeks. In the other match, Fluminense defeated Cerro Porteño 2-1. This is actually a good result for Cerro. Fluminense took the lead through Marcelo, another stalwart back from Europe, in the 14th minute, before Vilmer Vieira equalized for the Paraguayan side in the 19th minute. Paulo Gonçalves scored the winner 15 minutes from time. Now, that goal by Vieira is very important because it means that Cerro Porteño are even with Colo-Colo on goal difference and goals scored. And that away goal also equalizes the two sides in terms of away goals scored. Now, away goals scored is the third tiebreaker. So the final tiebreaker is the CONMEBOL ranking, which effectively tracks with the seeds that each team received ahead of the group stage draw. That means that Cerro Porteño are currently in second place on the superior CONMEBOL ranking. Those two sides will meet in the decisive round of Group A in 2 weeks. Group B saw Talleres de Córdoba defeat Cobresal 1-0 in a one-sided match. Talleres dominated the possession and they dominated the chances. Yet it took almost 90 minutes for the goal to come. Nahuel Bustos missed two clear chances in the first half and was subbed out. The closest that Cobresal got to a goal was when Beckholt's header off a corner fell wide of the far post. Talleres would ultimately get the winner through Federico Girotti in the 88th minute. In the other match, Sao Paulo and Barcelona played to a goalless draw. Sao Paulo were much closer to the goal than Barcelona were, and they created two big chances near the end. The resulting draw keeps Sao Paulo alive for first place in the group, and Sao Paulo will host Talleres in 2 weeks' time. Barcelona look more likely for third place. Group C only had one match because of the continued postponement of matches involving Gremio, and the strongest routed Huachipato 4-0 in La Paz. Rodrigo Ramallo opened the scoring for the Bolivian side in the 36th minute, and the Steelers really broke down in the second half. The strongest scored twice in 10 minutes, and Michael Ortega scored and assisted on both goals. Brian Angulo rounded out the scoring by converting the penalty. The result means that the strongest wrap up a perfect record at La Paz, which is really necessary for these Bolivian sides competing in Libertadores competition and in Sudamericana. This result also means that the strongest are in the knockout stage. Given the backlog of matches involving Gremio, the Bolivian side can be overtaken by one team, either Estudiantes, Huachipato, or Gremio, but they can't be overtaken by two of them. So turning now to Group D, where we see Liga de Quito fall at home to Atletico Junior. This was an even match until the Junior goal scored by Jose Enamorado in the 37th minute. And Junior bunkered after he went ahead. Liga's efforts are largely ineffective, peppering the goal area of the Colombian side, but only creating one half chance. So the result means that Liga's dismal record in the Libertadores group stage continues. They've scored the fewest goals in the group, they're bottom of the group, and they're out of the Libertadores. Junior, meanwhile, finished their away program with 2 away wins. Yet they've scored only 2 home draws in the competition. In the other match, Universitario fell at home to Botafogo 1-0. La U started on the front foot in a match that they needed to win, but that momentum fizzled out in the second half. Botafogo grew into the game, and they got the winner through Jefinho in the last half hour. The result confirms Botafogo's place in the last 16 of the competition. Universitario can still finish in the Sudamericana place, but now they have to go to Quito and get the result there. Group E saw Flamengo rout Club Bolivar 4-0. This was a match in which Big Mengo were on top from the opening kickoff before a crowd of 60,000 at the Maracanã. Gerson scored the opening goal within the first minute of the match, and momentum just snowballed from there. Flamengo's midfield was completely dominant through contributions of Everton, De La Cruz, and De Arrascaeta, and they had all of the chances in this match. In fact, three players for Flamengo finished with greater than zero point 0.7 expected goals generated. And Everton and Pedro scored a goal and assist each. Bolívar still lead in the table, but more worrying for them is that they have allowed 8 goals in the group stage. Flamengo now have the goal advantage in terms of differential and total goals scored. In the other match, Millonarios fell to a 1-1 draw against Chile's Palestino. This was actually Millonarios' best match of the group stage. Juan Carvajal scored the opening goal for the Colombian side in the 40th minute. And they played better in possession, they were generating chances, but they missed a clear chance for 2-0 in the 9th minute that would have sealed the match and revived their chances in the competition. Palestino go forward after that missed opportunity. They switched the field. They crossed into the box for Junior Maribel to head home the equalizing goal in the first minute of stoppage time. The result means that Millonarios are not only out of the Libertadores competition, they're also out of contention for the Copa Sudamericana. So they'll be rooted to 4th place in the group. Palestino are guaranteed at minimum a place in the Copa Sudamericana, and they'll have to go to La Paz and play Bolivar for a chance to advance to the knockout stage of Libertadores. In Group F, Palmeiras continued Independiente del Valle slide with a 2-1 victory at home. The result means that Palmeiras wrap up first place in the group. Richard Rios scored the opening goal for the Brazilian Greens, and then Gustavo Gomez converted a penalty. Lautaro Diaz pulled one back for the Ecuadorian side, but they never got closer to even attempting an equalizing goal. Independiente del Valle have now lost 3 consecutive matches in the group stage. They'll host Liverpool de Montevideo on the last match day, but that could be a really difficult match, much more difficult than they ever expected at the beginning of the group stage. In the other match, San Lorenzo defeated Liverpool de Montevideo 3-2 in an exciting match that was tied on 2 occasions. Ivan Leguizamon opened for the Argentine side. Liverpool equalized 19 minutes later. Alexis Cuello sent Los Santos ahead before halftime. Liverpool equalized 19 minutes later again. Finally, Gaston Campi scored the winner for San Lorenzo in the 87th minute. Unfortunately, there weren't 19 additional minutes left to be played, and the match ended 3-2. San Lorenzo are still not guaranteed a place in the Libertadores knockout stage. They'll have to go to Brazil and play Palmeiras, and more worrying for the Argentine side, they have yet to score away from home in the group stage of the Libertadores. Now turning to Group G, where Peñarol defeated Atlético Mineiro 2-0. This was a match that saw Peñarol take the initiative, but scoring chances were few and far between for either side. Yet, toward the end of the match, late in the second half, both goals were scored off the result of set-piece opportunities. The first goal was a free kick that crashed off the crossbar. A deflected ball found Lucas Hernandez, who collected it and scored. The second goal was scored in almost exactly the same manner. A fierce free kick from outside the area was saved by goalkeeper Everson. Maxi Silveira collected the rebound and scored. Silveira has really been the best player for Peñarol, not just the best player for Peñarol, the best attacking player in the group stage in the Libertadores. He scored 5 goals at this stage of the competition, and he leads in non-penalty expected goals. Incidentally enough, um, Paulinho is ranked second in non-penalty expected goals for Atletico Mineiro, but he didn't feature as strongly as Silveira. In the other match, Rosario Central defeated Caracas FC 4-1 at home, in a comfortable win for the home side. Agustin Modica scored a brace. Maximiliano Lovera scored a goal and an assist. Ender Echenique scored a late consolation for the Venezuelan side before Francisco Los Celsos finished the scoring. The result means that Caracas are officially out of continental competition, while Central and Peñarol will play in Montevideo to decide second place in the group. In Group H, River Plate defeated Libertad 2-0 in Buenos Aires. This was a deserved result for the Argentine side, yet it took River a long time to break through. Miguel Borja finally showed his ability. He finished a low cross inside the penalty area to give River a 1-0 lead. Libertad did have a flurry just after halftime, but they never threatened again after around the 50th or 55th minute. Borja rounded off the scoring his second goal of the match off a breakaway. So compared to other matches in which Borja has been worryingly inefficient with his goal scoring chances, he generated only 2 shots on goal, but scored goals off both of those opportunities. So River are now tied with 5 teams in the group stage for most goals scored. Palmeiras have scored 14 goals. And they're tied with 3 teams for fewest goals allowed in the group stage. The strongest have allowed the fewest so far with 2. They are almost certain to finish first in Group H. In the other match, Deportivo Táchira fell at home to Nacional 1-0, in a match in which the visitors took the initiative and created all the scoring opportunities in the first half. It was a labored effort by Nacional. Despite taking the initiative, I strongly believe that all the effort that they took in getting up to Venezuela from Uruguay was starting to weigh on them in the second half. But they did enough to get the win. Alex Castro scoring the lone goal 8 minutes into the second half. Yanel Hernandez was sent out for Táchira 15 minutes later, and that essentially settled the contest. So Nacional lock up the berth in the last 16 of the competition. Deportivo Táchira lock up 4th place in the group. So that's a summary of the 16 matches in Matchday 5 of the group stage. The group tables after 5 matches look like these. So in Group A, confirmation that Fluminense are in the knockout round, and they'll win the group as well. They top the table with 11 points. After that, the other 3 teams can finish in any of the 3 remaining positions. Cerro Porteño and Colo-Colo have 5 points, -1 group differential, 3 total goals scored, and 2 away goals. Cerro are second on CONMEBOL ranking. They were the second seeded team in the group. Alianza Lima are last in the group, but still alive with 4 points. In Group B, everything remains as they were at the beginning of the week. Talleres remain on top of the group with 13 points, followed by Sao Paulo with 10 points. Barcelona in third on 3 points, and Cobresal remain last on 1 point. In Group C, the strongest remain in first place in the group with 10 points, followed by Huachipato on 5, Estudiantes on 4 points, and Gremio on 3. Now remember that the strongest, Huachipato and Estudiantes have yet to play Grêmio due to the weather disaster in southern Brazil. In Group D, we know the top two who will finish in the group. Junior and Botafogo each have 9 points, but Junior lead the group on goal difference. Universitario are in third on 5 points, and Liga de Quito are fourth and last in 4 points. The Peruvian and Ecuadorian teams have -2 goal difference, and Universitario have scored 5 goals to Liga's 4. In Group E, Club Bolivar, despite that huge defeat, still lead the group on 10 points, followed by Flamengo on 7 points and a +4 goal differential. Third are Palestino, also in 7 points, but with a -3 goal differential. Last, and eliminated from continental competition, are Millonarios on 3 points. In Group F, Palmeiras have won the group. They have 13 points and a +9 goal difference. San Lorenzo are second on 7 points. Independiente del Valle are in third on 4 and a -2 goal differential. And Liverpool de Montevideo bring up the rear on 4 points and a -7 goal differential. In Group G, Atlético Mineiro, despite that loss, remain in first place on 12 points. Peñarol remains second on 9 points, followed by Rosario Central on 7 points. Caracas FC remain 1 point and will stay bottom of the group. And finally, in Group H, River Plate top the group on 13 points and a +7 goal difference. Not only are they qualified for the group stage, they're also in next year's FIFA Club World Cup in the United States. Next, and also qualified for the group stage, are Nacional on 10 points and a +2 differential. Libertad are in third place on 4 points and a -2 goal differential, almost certain to go to the Copa Sudamericana knockout stages. And Deportivo Táchira, their continental adventure is almost at an end, last in the group with 1 point and a -7 goal differential. So 10 teams are now confirmed for the knockout stage. Only 2 teams are guaranteed to finish last in their groups. And 14 sides will tussle for the last 6 places in the Libertadores round of 16. And every group will see a fight for the top 2, third place, or both. It sets up for an exciting climax to the group stage in 2 weeks' time. Now, as a reminder, you can find XG maps and flowcharts for every Libertadores match on Soccermetrics' X feed. The match data has been supplied by Data Factory Latin America. If you want to follow me and send a comment or question, my X handle is @Soccermetrics. You can also send questions or comments to @SoccerDownHere or to Jason Longshore @Longshoe. We will answer your questions about the tournament in a future episode, and we do appreciate your comments as we strive to make this show better. Next week is another off week in the competition, so I will have a Wednesday episode to report news from the Libertadores and tell the story of the first South American super team. There's a very famous player associated with that team. You might have heard of him. This has been the Soccermetrics Copa Libertadores show, a production of Soccermetrics and Soccer Down Here. See you later. Hasta luego. Até mais.